So in this video, I wanted to go over how we design, schedule, and send thousands of emails per week in just 15 minutes. I created this doc. It's called the Efficiency SOP, stands for Standard Operating Procedures, and I wanted to make this video because I see that a lot of brands cap themselves at volume. Let's just say they're sending like 3 emails a week. They usually just stop there because they don't want to. One, they don't want to spam their lists, and two, they just don't have the capacity to send more emails. Now, other brands have kind of hit the cap on them sending like 2 emails a week. So basically, they're sending like 14 emails a week. So they're sending two every single day. Even they struggle with this. And I wanted to record this video to kind of go over my process on how we send thousands of emails a week across all of our clients. And basically, I hope this video isn't too long, but I'm going to be running through this whole entire SOP. At the end, I wanted to go over how we never run out of campaign ideas, because I know a lot of people struggle with, you could send a ton of emails, but like, what are you going to talk about? So we could just go over that part because, a lot of people just don't know what to talk about. They don't have any ideas, or they run out of ideas on what to send like emails for. So that's what we're going to go over, and let's just get into it. So right now, MVOB Media, that's my agency, we're sending over $1 million a month. Now that's pretty conservative because pretty much like one of our brands is sending over $1 million a month. But just to be safe, because I don't know the exact number, we're sending a lot of emails every single month. And this is just an example of how that looks. So this is just a screenshot of accounts that we manage, and then we see that we have these accounts set to auto upgrade. So basically, when brands are actually sending more emails than what they're supposed to be, or like what their account is used to, Klaviyo will actually put a cap on their sends, because like you're being billed, like the Klaviyo bill is like based on how many emails are actually going out, and if you send more than that amount, your plan is just going to get cut off. So what we do here is we basically set that to auto upgrade. So essentially, as you can see here, we have the option for auto upgrade within Klaviyo. We actually check that off, so it automatically upgrades. So when you send more emails, you're able to send those emails and get them delivered, as opposed to just let's just say you send a big sale and your email just gets capped out. Like, you don't want that to happen. So this is what we actually check off, and this is what we recommend when we actually put this in place, because at the end of the day, you want to send, there's a reason why you sent that campaign, and you want that campaign to get delivered. So if you don't actually put this in place and it's not checked off, and you send more, you're not going to be able to hit the inbox because it's just capped out. So always keep this on. We always check this on. So because usually what happens when we onboard a client, we put our process in place and then the revenue goes up by 30%, and they typically auto upgrade into a new email plan. So for the example of the account that's sending 3 emails a week, and we bump that up to 5 a week, they're going to be naturally sending more emails. And then all those people that didn't convert in those campaigns, they go into the flows, and then you realize that, okay, they didn't even have a site abandonment flow, they didn't even have a browse abandonment flow, and if they had a post purchase flow, they only had 2 emails within the actual flow, which is really, really bad. So we add emails to those, and now all of a sudden you just double your actual email sends just like that, because you should not have 2 emails within your post purchase. It's just not a good idea to have 2 emails within your post purchase. Why? Because you're losing out. You're losing out on a lot of revenue by only having 2 emails in your post purchase. The same way you'd be losing out if you only sent one abandoned cart reminder, and you have thousands of people going through your abandoned cart reminder. You would want to actually send more emails there. So that's why. Now, when you scale, you also tend to scale everything else. So you scale the good things, so that's revenue, that's your conversions, but you also scale the bad things. So essentially, when you scale this up, you will experience more spam complaints. You'll experience more bounce rates. You'll experience more unsubscribes. That's because more people are coming into your ecosystem. If we increase the pop-up rate, sign-up rate from 4% to 6%, you're gonna have more people on your email list. So there's just more people to deal with, more people, more problems. That's just how it works. If we were to go to a party and it was 20 people there, it would kind of be manageable. But if as soon as you double the party to 40 people, there's just going to be there's more people spilling their alcohol on people, there's more noise, there's more complaints from the neighbors. It's just the nature of things when you scale things up. So it's inevitable, and with proper list cleaning and segmenting and culling of people, basically cutting the fat out, the people who aren't actually willing to get a few emails a week, your list will become more valuable over time, because you'll just have people who are engaged and people who are willing to actually purchase from your company because they really want to receive your emails. You want people who want to receive your emails within your email list. So this is an example right here. So let's just say you send 3 campaigns a week. You only have an abandoned checkout. You only have a post-purchase flow in place, so you only have these 2. and each of these has 4 emails. So if you send 10,000 people per campaign, which comes to 30,000 people a week, of that 30,000, most people won't buy. We already know this. So the two questions come from like, are the people who did not buy gone? So if you send to 30,000 people a week, are those people like that didn't purchase from that, are they gone? And the second question is, should we queue them up for next week's campaign and just do a resend? So just to answer the first thing, are those people who didn't purchase from out of the 30,000 people, are those people gone? No. And two, should we just queue them up for next week's campaign and just do a resend? Yes, but I wanted to show you what we do instead. So since you only have the event and checkout and you just have the post purchase, you want to first double the amount of emails in your checkout and post purchase. So each of these has like 4 emails. That's not a lot. You want to double that to 8, because this is an event and checkout. This is where people are actually just literally on the brink of making a purchase. You don't want to just send 4 emails when you have thousands of people literally on the brink of making a purchase. So we go ahead and double that to 8. And then you double your campaign sends from 3 to 6. So instead of sending 3 campaigns a week, you go ahead and just double that to 6. Now this is where it comes in, where you're using smart sending to basically skip people who are receiving too many emails, and you're using segmentation to make sure you're hitting different people, and you're also making sure that these are actually good emails. Because at the end of the day, if you're providing value to your email list, they're going to want to receive your emails. That's really the point here. And this is why a lot of brands don't send emails, because they just don't know how to do that. So the next thing you do is you would add these flows. So welcome series, site abandonment, browse abandonment, cart abandonment, customer win back, and a dead customer re-engagement flow. So these are the core flows that you'd add. And then we have the bonus flows, which are, these aren't like the advanced side of things, but these are like kind of like additionary flows that you'll actually add within your Klaviyo account. So a customer VIP, post purchase and media upsell, anniversary flow, and then the birthday flow. If you're missing one of these core flows, don't bother with the advanced stuff, because like if you don't have the basics, you don't want to move to like the advanced stuff. It doesn't make too much sense. And typically we're selling in every single email, so upsell specifics or bonus flows, they basically can wait if you don't have basics in place, because at the end of the day, these flows, these emails, these campaigns, they're all just, we want people to purchase in these actual like emails. Like we're optimizing for conversions. We're not just messing around here. So over 70% of online carts are abandoned on average. So this comes from the Baynard Institute that has put in over $130,000 of work. Pretty sizable amount of case studies from these guys. And even they were endorsed by Klaviyo. This was actually a report that Klaviyo shared with us. So imagine you lose 70% of potential sales because you failed to set it up, but now you have the knowledge to fix it. Because like I just walked you guys through this. So how do we design and write all the emails and efficiently push more volume? And how do we plan and configure and schedule these out? So the first thing is, oftentimes brands struggle with volume simply because they're starting from scratch every single time. You don't want to start from scratch every single time you make a new batch of emails. Like at the end of the day, this is your brand, and you don't need to just reinvent the wheel and create something completely different every single week. So one of the easiest things that people overcomplicate is copy. So when it comes to copy, the principles matter above all. Who are you writing to? That's pretty much it. If you can understand who you're writing to, at the end of the day, you have the whole entire framework in front of you. So as a brand owner, you only need to get this right. If you can identify your customer, diagnose their problem or desire, and communicate this to them effectively, then all you need to do is slap your solution within the actual email, which is usually just like a CTA. And this is a principle, so it's basically going to last forever. These hacks or tricks, they're temporary, and then the principles of anything, they last forever. That's why they're principles. So what if I told you that you didn't have to reinvent the wheel, and in this case, reinvent your customer? What I mean by this is essentially, your customers, they fit into like a batch of people. Like, you know their desires, you know their problems, you know your customer. So why are you trying to change that? Which is the question. Because a lot of brands are just like, oh no, I don't know what to write. You're writing to the same demographic. Now, obviously, you have older people, you have females, you have males probably within your list, but you know ultimately what they actually want and what they actually need. So that's essentially what we're talking about here. Once you understand the principles, you simply are writing to the same target market each time. This is how we write so quick. We know who we're writing to. It's basically 80% research and 20% actual writing. So this is an example of basically a demographic of adults, 25 to 40, so it's pretty broad. They hate big pharma. They're constantly struggling with pain, anxiety, and stress, and they don't know what to buy. So I'm just going to go ahead and just leave this here. Remember the first time you took interest in Pure Spectrum CBD, Many customers recall the desperation to solve a major health problem they were struggling with. So basically, pain, anxiety, sleep issues, seizures, stress. Without getting too into it, there was a reason why you chose our CBD, and we'd like to help you revisit the moment with the many ways you can actually apply CBD into your life. So this is an example of a CBD company, a supplement company that's really focusing on these issues. And it says tap here to read about the 9 ways to enhance your CBD experience. So this is a way of actually kind of like really hammering in that pain aspect, that understanding who your customer actually is and what they actually desire. At the end of the day, if you know that your customer desires or has one of these problems, like highlighted right here, you literally all you need to do is just write about that. And the best part about this, and this is just an example of how to never run out of ideas, is every single one of these problems and desires, these are all potential campaigns. So it's not just a campaign about pain, anxiety, sleep issues, seizures, and stress. We can make 5 campaigns just about pain. We can make 5 campaigns about anxiety. We can make 5 campaigns about sleep issues. So it's just ever multiplying because it's very simple to make a campaign about, around your customers if you just have a really, really solid fundamental of your customers. And I would recommend you guys actually copy this framework because we're identifying that they're adults, 25 to 40, they hate big pharma, and they're constantly struggling with one of these things. Once you understand that, you never run out of campaign ideas. So we actually replaced 25% of the depilatory brands' design emails with plain text ones. Basically, plain text, they convert really well because they're short, they're casual, and you saw in this example right here, it's very low effort and it's casual, and people actually resonate more with that as opposed to just 100% designed emails. So when we actually replaced, 25% of this company's, designed emails with these plain text casual emails honing on a specific problem, we actually increased, their year-on-year, they got a year-on-year increase of 94%. That's why it's so important. So the next thing is design. So basically our design framework is like really simple. This is the framework we use to not spend an hour on a single email, especially if we're already familiar with them. Essentially what we're doing here is we create 3 brand templates. So this is an example right here. This is literally something we did within like 15 minutes. So all we did is we took this template, and this is just a mock-up, so it's not like anything official. We took this campaign that they had right here. This is their campaign that they're actually sending. And we basically made it better. We talked to this company, and they essentially said that they wanted better designs, and they really like these designs. And what we did is we basically showed them a framework on how we actually, print these emails, on how we create thousands of emails and send thousands of emails a week, like based on this framework. We're not actually creating thousands of emails, just saying that. But this is the framework we're actually using. So we take this, right? We take this. This is the initial one we work with, and then we go ahead and clone it and change the elements around. So essentially, this is like a mock-up, but what we do instead here is like we go ahead and just take this element with the squiggly lines. We go ahead and swap that out with like something like a polka dot. You can kind of imagine what kind of elements we use. Let's just say zigzags, polka dots, dotted lines, whatever it is. We go ahead and change these elements, change this to like, I don't know, like maybe it's like a black guy's hand or whatever. You want to make sure that you actually change up the elements. And essentially what you're doing is you're taking the initial template and all you're doing is copying it and just modifying it slightly, or even you can modify it as long as it's like on brand. So essentially what we did here, we changed the color, you already saw this, and then obviously you go ahead and change the content, you change the products around, you change up the elements. All you're doing is literally that. You don't reinvent the wheel, you don't change anything significant. The only time we'd actually change something very significant is if we go over here, let's just say this is for our flows, and this is for our campaigns. So for our flows, as you see, like, we would choose a completely kind of different template, right? So this is kind of different from these ones. And these ones are just kind of like, they're still on brand, but they're like, you could tell that it's a very different template. We would use this for our flows. And obviously we want to keep our flows a little bit more shorter because like they're more personalized and we're really just pushing them further down the customer funnel. But essentially this is basically like, this is an example of how we're actually, using these templates. Because now what you can do, let's just say this is for your welcome series. All you're really doing is taking this and basically cloning it, change the elements around, change the reviews, change the content, change how the spacing is, etc., and just using it for your site abandonment and just doing that for your cart abandonment, using that for the checkout. And on top of that, right, we also have the plain text. So you have a 4th template. So the plain text email template is already there within Klaviyo. So not only do you have like the first template and you have a second template for your flows, and let's just say you have a 3rd template just for VIPs, you go ahead and use a 4th template, which is the plain text that we were talking about. A lot of brands are scared of using plain text. I'm not sure why, but they're extremely, extremely, extremely profitable, and they're extremely they're really good at actually converting customers and getting on a deeper level. And then don't reinvent the wheel. I promise you, your customers buy from you because they love your products, and they don't buy because your email is blue or has polka dots. People don't really care. They care about what you can actually give to them, and that's why we're actually honing so, like, very, very, very focused on just what the customer actually wants and actually understanding the customer. And then the second thing is, basically, it's very simple with our planning and configuring and scheduling things. We use Notion for a campaign calendar, basically using Klaviyo to configure and schedule campaigns. 1 to 2 weeks before the next month, we actually map things out, and we actually know, okay, so what are we going to do for the next month? And that's kind of what we're looking at. We're looking at historical campaign performance. That's like the main thing we're actually looking at. We want to recent campaigns that did well, and we don't really concern ourselves with switching things up completely. So you'll double down on what is actually working. So like the campaigns that actually resonated with our customers, and we're actually mixing that with the new stuff. There's a lot of brands, they just want to mix, they just want to do completely new stuff. Instead of just focusing on the new stuff, focus on what's actually working and sprinkle in whatever new campaign ideas you have within the actual month. So if you have Monday, you're going to send, a campaign that did really well. Tuesday, you'd send your new campaign, and then Wednesday you go ahead and just do one that did really well, and Thursday do one that is kind of new, and then Friday you do one that's done really well. So then you have 2 campaigns that you're testing, and then 3 that are actually you already know that they did really well. So when it comes to plain text emails, these are done solely by the copywriter. So once we figure out what the email topic will be, we'll basically get the copywriter on it. When it comes to design, we need to inform the copywriter about also the designer also follows the SOP above. This comes with shared access to the Notion calendar. So basically just, putting people in place to actually, carry out the actual designs that we see here. Now, obviously this is for designer, and obviously for the actual plain text emails, you don't need a designer for that. You need a copywriter. So how do we configure and schedule? For plain text, create your campaign, set it to a plain text template, and simply paste it in your copy. It's really as simple as that. So when you go into Klaviyo, you'll go ahead and just choose the template, choose the plain text template, and basically you're pasting in from like a Google Doc, because usually you just write everything in a Google Doc, and then you just paste it into Klaviyo. And then you go ahead and hyperlink your actual text. So this is how that looks. This is hyperlinked. All right. And once that's hyperlinked, people can actually click on it, and they can go to a landing page or a product page. For design emails, you create your own campaign, just like we have it here. Set it to default design template that's already set up, and then you drag and drop these slices. So essentially, you want to slice these emails up instead of just uploading just one image. You don't want to upload just one image. You want to actually slice them up so you can actually link to different places. And let's just say you want to link to this product, you want to link it here as well because it's in the same slice. And then maybe in the reviews, you want to actually link to the individual products that you're actually getting testimonials on. So we'll link to the gummies on this one, we'll link to the chews on this one, and obviously we'll link back to the gummies on this one. You can't do that with one image. So essentially, we want to slice it up into multiple images, and we're pasting them in. All right. So this is basically how we design, schedule, and send thousands of emails per week. And if you like this video, hit the like button down below. And yeah, so I guess the next thing I wanted to cover as a bonus, if you stuck this far, was this website right here. Use this website. It's called National Today. Basically, it's giving you national holidays that are they're just random national holidays. So let's just go to January. It's going to give you so many different holidays. So this is January 1st, and it's Apple Gifting Day, Commitment Day, Ellis Island Day, Euro Day, Haitian Independence Day, Mummers Parade Day. There's just so many different holidays on January 1st. And there's so many different holidays on every single month of the year. So you could basically use this and just literally just come up with unlimited ideas with your brand. So let's just say you are in the food and beverage and you want to talk about Fiber Focus Month and just dedicate it to just that. Maybe you want to dedicate it to fun and you can just talk about National Hobby Month. There's so many different holidays that you can talk about. And the reason why this is so helpful is because not only does it keep things interesting, but it's been proven that people spend more money when it comes to special holidays and occasions. So a good example of this is Black Friday. You guys already know about that. This is a 2023 report from CNBC. So Black Friday shoppers spent a record $9.8 billion in U.S. online sales, up 7.5% from last year. So everything from weddings, funerals, birthdays, and all special events apply. Thousands and thousands of dollars people are spending on these holidays. So people are naturally going to spend more when they actually know that's a special occasion and they know it's a holiday. We already understand this fundamentally, but this is kind of actual data on what people are spending their money on, and proving that people spend more money when it comes to special occasions and holidays. So this is just an example of what we're using to like never run out of campaign ideas. So basically, you can imagine when we sent this to our supplement brands list. So basically, January 12th was basically National Stick to Your Resolutions Day, and when we sent this to our supplement brands list, like converted like crazy. You could filter it based on all these qualities, so animals, health, relationship, federal, all these different niches you can apply to your brand, and you can basically just get creative. So this is how we never run out of campaign ideas. So thank you for reading this. This is just Bugs Bunny. So I hope you guys like this video. Take care and have a good day.